So if you're trusting God for anything, listen to this. Let this be your testimony, right? So this was how I got a job, how God came through. He's come through for me in so many ways. And I just think that maybe I'll be sharing them from time to time now, just to encourage somebody out there. So I was in a job that was, things were going downhill. I think they even went into, like, the business closed down at some point. So I was in this job. I have a background in law. I have a master's in law. I went to law school, yada, 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 just to give you a background, right? And I was in this job and, you know, everything was just pushing towards me leaving because things were getting a bit political and you could see that it was coming to an end, right? And I just really wanted to, you know, get something, move on to something else. I wanted to move on to a different area that was going to, you know, just lead me to something else that I would enjoy. So I was applying. So I started thinking about leaving. Like, I was very uncomfortable in this place and I wanted a new position. So whilst things were being, you know, all crazy at this job place and I was looking for a new job, I just thought, okay, you know what, it'll be easy. I went to XYZ unis, I have certain qualifications, I have certain experience, you know, easy peasy. But that was not the case. So I was having tests, interviews, like I was going through it and nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. And I was telling my brother, I was like, oh, I thought I had this qualification and I was this, I was that, I was that. And it was just proving very difficult. So, and this other place I was working, like, things were going crazy, like things were getting real political, and it was time that I took my leave before, you know, they moved mad. So I was doing everything, applying, I was going for tests and everything, and nothing was working. And I was like, okay, cool. I was praying about it and I'm like, God, you know, you said XYZ. So I got a word saying you'll get a job soon, right? But at that point I was like, am I hearing myself? You know, I just talked about how the Holy Spirit, how we hear from the Holy Spirit in my previous video. I was thinking, am I hearing myself, or is it just, you know, me thinking this or what? But something said, you will get a job soon, don't worry. So I just kept trusting that and trusting that, you know, that was God speaking to me, that was the Holy Spirit speaking to me, and I kept going. You know, first week, second week, third week, fourth week, everything going. And, you know, I was telling people around me, I was like, I thought I would have gotten a job by now. People are like, it's not taking time now. It's just how many weeks? At this time, I was coming up to the second month, and trust me, everything was going wrong in the other job. That anything you can think about was going wrong in the other job. So I was like, okay, you know, I was applying, I was, you know, still going, you know, just trusting God, etc. So we got to the 8th week, and I woke up one day and things were just looking really crazy. And I was like, God, what is happening here? Like, I thought you told me I'll get a job soon. Like, sometimes when God gives you a word, it can take time things will take time to come into play. And you might be thinking in that season that, you know, nothing is happening, but something is happening. Something is changing. I was thinking about something this morning, and I was thinking about the fact that, oh, you know, if you put in certain efforts in this year, you get certain results within this time. And sometimes, like, what if it's not showing by year 2? What if it's going to come later? But the work you're putting in is all compounding interest, right? I'm reading James Clear. I've read it twice. His book. And it just, you know, things are compounding, things are coming together. That's the way God works as well. You're thinking nothing is moving. You're thinking nothing's happening in that job application. You're thinking nothing is happening for that thing you're praying about, but it's happening. It's just compounding to come together and come out one day, and you'll be like, yeah, it's a miracle. I don't think it's a miracle in the sense that it just happened that day or God just thought about it that day. It's a miracle in the sense that it's been happening over time and it's been compounding to bring you the expected results. So in the same way, I was just in this whole job thing, and I was, you know, just praying. At this point, I was getting frustrated, and I got to this day where it was like, the Friday of it, I was like, God, give me a testimony. Can you give me a testimony next week? Can you give me a testimony? I literally gave God a date. I was like, give me a testimony this day so I can tell people that you did this, right? So that people can know that it's you. So the Monday came and I was so frustrated. I was just like, God, what's happening? You know, so I went to make my hair. My appointment was messed up. It was just a hard day, you know, one of those hard days. And I literally busted out crying, thinking, oh, God is forsaking me. But mind you, I was already in the second stage, or the last stage of this particular company, you know. But I didn't think it would amount to anything, because others when I get to a certain stage, I'll go through stages, and then the job wouldn't happen. So I just thought, okay, so I went for this one. At this point I was tired. I had gotten to a point where I just showed up without proper preparation. I just thought, you know what, God, let your will be done. And when I went for this interview, it just, the guy was just talking like I already got the job. He was like, oh, when you come, you find out this, I've seen this, I've seen that. Like, it was the easiest interview I've ever had. And that job ended up being a blessing and putting me on the right track for the next job I went for. So if you're looking for something, if you're praying about something, now this is not about a job. This was about a job for me, but it's not about a job. It doesn't have to be about a job. It could be anything you're praying for, right? If you're believing God, 2 things I want you to take out of this is, 1, things happen in compounds, like things will compound over time. Like, your prayers are not being wasted. Like, there's this prayer I've been saying now for years, and I'm like, oh my God, this hasn't happened. And I feel like the Holy Spirit said to me, it will all come together one day, and you see it, and you think it's just happening that day, but it's not happening that day. It's something that's been happening over time. So things will compound. Prayers do compound. So do not lose hope. 2, keep on going. Keep on putting your best foot forward, and God will come through for you. Keep on trusting the Lord. Like, don't give up. If you need a testimony, let this be your testimony. Let this be your motivation. Okay? I'll speak to you guys soon.